we've got division using place value. Now, again, this is the kind of problem that a lot of people like to point to on social media about why Common Core is silly or absurd or whatever. And I'm here to tell you it's exactly the opposite. So yes, what we're doing here, if you can take a look, is we are taking the number 1,860, which would be really tough to divide by 6 by hand without a calculator. We can use long division, and we will use long division. Don't you worry, fans of classic long division. We will do that as well. But this is another way of looking at it by taking 1860 and dividing it into 1800 plus 60. I think we can all agree that this number 1800 plus this number 60 does indeed add up to our 1860. What we are doing is we are distributing the division between two numbers that are more easy to divide by 6. 1800 divided by 6 is nice and easy. 18 divided by 6 is 3, so we get 300. Let's go ahead and jump back over and plug that in. Oh, wait, I know, the 300 is right there. So it's 1800 divided by 6 and 60 divided by 6. We're taking the divided by 6 and distributing it, which is a pretty sophisticated method. We're not calling it that yet, but later on in algebra, this same technique is going to be used to expand functions and all sorts of other stuff. So we already know 1800 divided by 6 is 300. It gave us that right there. So now all we have to do is 60 divided by 6, which is 10. The grand total is 310. Now, yes, once again, you absolutely can do classic long division to get this same answer. And yes, you can simply reach for a calculator, although I wouldn't recommend that for a 4th grader. You could just reach for a calculator or ask, Google or Alexa to do it for you. But when you take numbers and you break them apart and put them together like this, you begin to see the underlying pattern around numbers, and that will carry on both into middle school and high school math, and being able to see patterns in numbers and seeing patterns in other things, which is what math is all about, will change your entire outlook on life. Anyway, rant over, moving on to the next one. Ryan tried to evaluate this expression step by step. So Ryan did 2,000 divided by 5 plus 300 divided by 5 plus 50 divided by 5. Now that seems reasonable to me. That is 2,350 when you add all those together. 2,000 divided by 5 is 400. Remember my method, I like to divide by 10 first to get 200, and then double it to get 400. 300 divided by 5 is indeed 60, and 50 divided by 5 is 10. Yes, that is correct. But look at step 3. In step 3, instead of doing 400 plus 60 plus 10, it looks like Ryan got 461 instead of 470. So the mistake is in step 3. Again, y is... Dashlane is not one of my sponsors. I don't have any sponsors, but there it is. You get a free plug, Dashlane, because you decided to invade my stream. Okay, so 1,248 divided by 4. Now, how do you know to split it up into these specific chunks? You kind of don't. This is just laying a foundation. We're not necessarily saying that this is the way your student is going to solve division problems. It's just important to see the patterns involved, and sometimes, just sometimes, this is easier and faster than even reaching for a calculator. Depends on the situation. So we have 1,248. We've got the 1,200 over here. We've got the 40 here. The only thing left is 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So all we need is 1,200 divided by 4, which is 300. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and the hundreds just carry along. We end up with a final answer of 312. Nate tried to evaluate an expression step by step. He wants to do 6,432 divided by 8, and I already see his problem in step 1. In step 1, he says 6,400 divided by 8 minus 32 divided by 8. And that is the incorrect part. Right there. If this had been a plus, then Nate would have been okay, because 6,400 plus 32 is 6,432. So there is Nate's mistake. I don't even really need to look at the rest of the problem. And that is divide using place value. It's the same thing we did with multiplication, right? When multiplying large numbers, we split the numbers up into smaller, easier to multiply numbers, did all of the multiplication, and then recombined them using addition or subtraction. This is the same process, just using division instead.